While the program is, because of certification requirements, has some American-centric perspectives, that was really helpful in terms of grounding me and giving me other viewpoints besides the ones that I have, but also keeping options open. I don't know how long I plan to stay in Asia or stay abroad, and being a little bit tied to current issues in school leadership in America was really useful for me. The best part is that it molded a whole bunch of really unique things that you're not going to get in other programs into one place, and was challenging for me along the way.
It gave me some of the tools that I needed to enter into the principalship. So I'm associate principal now. And so I felt like it gave me the tools that I needed. It gave me that confidence to apply and to move into a leadership position. And it also gave me teammates who I can contact. We keep in touch with some of the alum, and I can ask them questions whenever I need to. So in a way, they become mentors. And it's like, hey, I got this problem. How have you done this? And they've helped me with a number of issues that I've faced, and that's been really nice because they're willing to help. They're really good people.
I think one of the biggest continued draws of the program was the fact that my classmates were also in very, very similar positions to me. Almost all of them were in the East Asia region, so it made traveling to the EARCOS conferences fairly easy. I like the fact, and this is what I was going to say a little bit later on, one of the strengths of the program is the fact that its face-to-face components for every semester is held at the EARCOS conferences, which as an administrator entering the game for the first time, you got to meet people, you got to network and expand your connections, and it's all about connections nowadays for many jobs, and it's definitely holding true for administrators too. So you get to rub shoulders with the heads of schools and principals at some of the schools that you want to get to. So that was one of the big draws as well, as that face-to-face component. And just the structure of the program too. The virtual portion as well as the face-to-face portion, it was very relaxed. It was very it was modifiable. It was very comfortable, from start to finish.
Being able to know about how things are done in other schools based on my interaction with my colleagues kind of gave me that a bigger perspective, a wider perspective of how things are done. And the program has made me aware of the differences of people. Okay, so that's something that I'm always mindful about now. That you're dealing with people from different background, from different culture, with different perspectives. That's something that you always have to keep in mind. And also another thing that I've learned from the program is that you have to be mindful about educational loss. Right? It's one of the things that you always have to, wherever you are, you have to be. You will be under a certain law of the country, law of the school, all those stuff. And so that's also something that the program teaches you, is to be mindful about. You cannot just do things your way. You have to know what are the parameters, what are the things that you can do, what are the things that can be done, and how do you work with the system that is present.
In my last semester of the International School Leadership Program, my former boss announced that he was moving on from the school that I was working at. And so as somebody who knew the school, somebody who had a principal's license, I checked all the boxes that our board was looking for, and they asked me to stay on as the head of school and go from being essentially the secondary coordinator or vice principal to be the head of school. And there's no way I could have done that without the International School Leadership Program. Having that base of skill, having the connections to ask questions, and have that network of people from the International School Leadership Program really helped me, I think, to transition into that role. And now as I move on from my previous school and now I'm taking on a new leadership role, I know that having the master's in leadership, having the credentials that I was able to get, definitely made me more attractive on the job market.
It was getting to meet people in my cohort who were working around Asia. Just the rolling enrollment that was what we had at that time allowed me to meet probably 4 different groups of 6 to 8 people. So that really expanded my connection network. Also getting to meet the professors that were teaching the courses, gave us insight into what was going on back in the States. And then we were able to talk with them about our experience in international leadership and how that was maybe a little different from what was going on in the States. So I think, just that cross-cultural connection and the ability to meet folks from really all over the world and hear some phenomenal stories, share some good stories with that. And then of course, getting to sample some Cougar Gold cheese, that was just on top of everything else. So that was great.
I think that the ISLP really helped promote that kind of style of leadership, moving away from that kind of traditional hierarchical paradigm and being a lot more into like that sort of more responsive, transformative leadership kind of thing, where we work together and we build each other up. So it was a little bit of a transition, but I think it's helped me realize that I don't have to be the all-knowing sage on the stage. I don't have to be the expert in everything in order to lead a group. It's more about me having confidence and humility, and knowing that they do have that expertise, and they're going to help us work towards those strategic goals and the community for the school.
In addition to it being a great program carrying back in the States, as I was looking forward, we weren't discussing this from a kind of a lab setting point of view. We were talking real world experiences. We were talking about real life examples. We were talking about issues that we were dealing with right now. And in some cases, we were still dealing with it even at the conferences, just because we had that. And the coursework was designed to really drive our careers forward and work on things that we were doing. Of course, the internships at school were also good, because we were all working in leadership positions and roles at our school. So that just we were able to use that, just immediately take what we learned in class and use it as practical examples in our own schools.